These leaks have been shown by Quest when it comes to mixed reality, augmented reality, and just everything overall in the XR space. Now, this could be either a leak or, in my opinion, what I think is a marketing stunt due to Apple Vision Pro releasing in a few weeks. Now, we all know Apple Vision Pro, what they're going to be doing. It's spatial computing, and they are really heavy on this augmented reality and mixed reality when it comes to just having a flat screen and while you're putting on your VR headset and watching a flat screen. Again, when it comes to that, that's a very confusing aspect to have. Now, Xbox cloud gaming is also on Quest right now, so it's similar to what, if you're thinking just gaming, that's what Apple Vision Pro is going to be basically doing overall for their gaming. It's a weird grayscale what's going on in VR. Like what I said, I feel this is more of a marketing stunt. Quest now giving us features is huge though, right? I always, if you follow this channel, I don't always like to cover the gaming side of just Quest, although Quest is predominantly known for that. I feel that we're giving affordable tech to people, that we should try our best to make the affordable options and the actual features and enhance those and look a lot better instead of doing all the gimmicks and stuff, and to where the money is being spread too thin to do too much things that are staying narrow versus just hanging on to a few things where we can go in depth in virtual reality, which is why virtual reality still to this day is just not really respected or credible to a lot of people. It's still very niche, and even within the niche, the community does tend to argue a lot, which is sad. Now, I'm not mad at it, but again, this is cool. Now I see some mixed reality. It is something that what Pro is doing on a much more affordable aspect, which is also good, because if people see this Apple Vision Pro and how it performs, maybe people are going to eventually jump into the Quest. How we try to maintain these situations is going to be a whole different story. Sitting down, and I know there's like emulators and there's other things like that, like to play like a 3DS now on your Quest, and then there's Xbox Cloud Gaming. There's just all these things that really... I guess it can persuade certain people to put on the headset and actually want to play. I, for one, am not convinced. I don't want to put on my VR headset just to play more flat screen games. I just never really intended to try my VR headset for that. What I intend for in virtual reality is to put on my headset and to be completely either hybrid, which the mixed reality does entail, but not to really do something that converts it to a flat screen in front of me or just hanging on to a physical controller once again. For me, I feel when I put on a VR headset, I want to feel the immersion, whether it's through hand tracking, through full body, or any type of sources that can help with enhancing the experience, feeling or haptics. I'm not really too sure on VR treadmill. That's just kind of another story. Also, it's a lot of money for, I don't think it lives up to that money. But again, that's another conversation. But VR and Quest, when Quest first came around, I was like, hell yeah, like Quest is giving us this amazing aspect at a bargain. Quest 2 especially. Quest 3 not so much anymore. I disagree with it even being affordable now. You're right around the corner to other headsets now, trust me. Quest 2 though is like the best bang for your buck overall. And when I was so excited with virtual reality and the optimism of it, right now it's a snooze fest. Ghost of Tabor is carrying the gaming scene easily in Quest until like something else comes around like Contractor Showdown. So what I feel should be happening is this. Now, although these are quote unquote leaks, in my opinion, marketing stints, it does show way more capabilities of what Quest can potentially look into. We don't want to be tapping too far into gimmicky stuff. We want to tap into things that are actually going to be useful. So some things are too extra credential, but other things do look valuable in sources, the way we're interacting with certain items, and depending on how it feels and everything, I feel that that is pretty cool moving forward. Quest though does have a long approach when it comes to even trying to compete with something like an Apple Vision Pro. It shouldn't even be trying to compete. The aspects and the finances are so off that it's a third of the cost, or maybe less than a third of the cost. Yeah, I mean, what is it, like $3,500 and then versus like maybe $700? So yeah, it's less than a third. So I wouldn't expect the performance to be there. I just feel that Quest needs to do better at the ideas of stuff. When you have an idea of VR, of course you want to feel like Ready Player One and all that stuff, that yada yada yada. But when you go into it, you want an experience. And I give Asgard's Wrath 2 a lot of props for that. When I put on my headset and I played that game, I felt like I was experiencing something. And VR really does drop the ball so many times when it comes to that. Too many times to where it becomes disgusting at a certain point, because every game is either like a VR shooter or just like all these things that are just so much replicated or watered down versions and variations of games that are already flat screen, or they're trying to convince us to put on a headset just to play more flat screen games. And VR should never be like that. VR should be something Asgard's Wrath 2 is as an experience. Although they only released that Quest 2 version previously, I'm glad at least the community came together for that, to push these devs to really push limits on virtual reality, to show that we are in 2024. The tech is there, everything is there, the simplicity is there if we were to just go in depth on what actually works. I still don't understand why we don't get at least monthly updates on some form of hand tracking, rather if it's a little mini minor patch or update. I still don't see why we don't have monthly updates like that. Quest 2 used to have monthly, every 3-week updates when it came to certain things. And for some reason, they took their foot off the gas like horrendously. And I don't know why they did that. When I was covering Quest a few years ago, they literally would just have updates every other like week or two. And I was like, damn, it went from like V11 to like V60, like crazy, like I don't even know, whatever V we're on right now. Like it went, that route was so fast. Because when I was covering it and when I first started, it started off slow and then it just started ramping through, especially throughout the whole pandemic and all that. But I feel that if we can get more patches on that, maybe avatar inclusion, you know, diversity, and people with limited physical capabilities, how we can get people immersed in that. The more we can be flexible in making VR accessible and being able to be this component of like, if somebody cannot like really move physically and I put on the VR headset, I want to feel like, oh man, like I'm inclusive with this person now that I'm either having an experience with, like watching a movie or in VR chat or just anything, even if it's just like mixed reality stuff. Like that should be always a forethought to even get as much people into virtual reality as you can. Next is the actual viewing experience. The experiences and the UI in VR is just not a fun time. PC VR is one of the hardest things to do. I go from PC VR, PSVR 2, and Quest 3. I'm speaking from all three. I have all three. And I run multiple PCs on my streams. I do all stuff. I edit all day, and coming from a general aspect, not me being the VR enthusiast, but me thinking in a general consumer, hell nah, nobody's gonna be using PC VR anytime soon. You need extra things just to read chat. You need extra stuff just to do this. You need extra stuff just to go live stream. It is horrendous still in 2024. It still taps back into OG PC VR. OG PC VR from like 2012 to 2024 is like, for me, they have no excuses. They have a PC, and there's really nothing that still brings you in there that makes you, except for mods. The fact that mods are actually single-handedly carrying PC, like it blows my mind, honestly. And although it's a great experience, we're reverting to mods, and then we're reverting to like mixed reality, being us sitting down, putting our headset on and watching a flat screen. And that should be something maybe Apple Vision Pro should be looking into, but not people who are wholeheartedly in VR. And again, that's just my opinion. I love VR so much every day. And so I hope some of the things we do see in these mixed reality footages, I would really hope that they continue to expand on that and show the capabilities of what a technological future will look like. We're looking into like the Web3 when everybody was talking about all this stuff, like all the crypto and all those movements. I just hope that when we go into this Web3, like what is next after social media? After social media is already getting very bland in itself. Like algorithms are starting to look weird now. Everything's kind of just, everything's just scattered everywhere. All the TikToks and Twitches and YouTubes and Twitter or X, whatever you say. All of that now is starting to become bland to where like social media and traditional media have already conversed into one. Basically, like news channels are YouTube channels now. And so I want to see what happens moving forward and what VR can do in the separation of that, of letting us know, like, when I put on a VR headset, I want to know that I'm in a futuristic realm, not taking a step back and playing flat screen stuff or having to go through mods or having to do all this stuff. And that's just my opinion, but Quest 3 was showing a lot of hope. Let me revert that. Quest was showing a lot of hope in that. And so I hope they continuously do that, because, man, I'm telling you right now that VR can be so amazing if they were to double down on the simple stuff that they have working for them already. Hand tracking, almost on full body tracking, full body pose estimation, and just mixed reality. Certain components, not too much of the gimmicky side of things that we know damn well nobody's even going to use. They'll hype it for one day. But things that are actually valuable to people in their life, or rather it's setting up stuff, or like even all these new games that are coming out and experiences like the survival type world games. Why has nobody made a VR game about that already? That's insane. Like, aside from Ghost of Tabor, like, there's not too many survival actual world games like the Minecrafts of everything. Minecraft, you need like PC VR, you need all this stuff. So something that's a little bit next level than a Minecraft, but not necessarily like a Ghost of Tabor, that can help with just having a survival experience versus just being like a video game. You know, there's just so much they could be doubling down on, but they refuse to do it, and instead they want to make the next arena shooter. We have enough arena shooters everywhere, so I hope, my optimism just really lies in VR, and I hope they continuously grind, man. So let's just see what's up, man. But drop your thoughts below. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.